How's it going, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Crypto Clout. I am your host, FaZe Crypto, and today we are talking about Tron TRX. This has been a pretty heavily requested video. A lot of things happening in the Tron universe, and I think this will be a pretty good video where we'll be able to address a lot of these different things that people have been requesting, and of course, we'll be able to delve into a lot of the different talking points that people have been discussing regarding Tron. So without any further ado, top performers of today, we've got Bitcoin Diamond and of course Tron coming up in that range of the top 10 up there, market cap being at the current time making this video 178. Of course, Bitcoin dominance at 54.5%. And I think that right off the bat, a lot of people were asking me to talk about this article right here with Tron being called a copycat, which is a pretty interesting article. And it basically goes on to say, concrete business value, and of course, all these different things from the IOTA co-founder. And so, of course, this guy, Dominic, of course, co-founder of IOTK, in a cryptocurrency project designed for the Internet of Things, and built DAG, of course, talks about, Tron is a copycat, concrete business value that's apart from, pumping price, and of course, the value, all these different things. Now, an interesting article. I think, thanks to whoever brought this to my attention. This is an interesting point to see made. But I think, when it really comes down to it, Tron does have some original elements to itself. And of course, I think that Justin Sun really is a noteworthy individual, in the cryptocurrency space. And just on the fact of the matter is, like it or not, Tron is a key player in the cryptocurrency space. But I think that, starting off with an article like this, puts us in an interesting frame of mind, because not only do I want to, essentially talk about the positives, the various different aspects of Tron that I see as things that are, going to be making a big deal, but I really want to be able to make these videos and have a pretty much an intricate, well-rounded perspective where we can look at every opinion, and of course, I'm always interested in hearing what you guys have to say, so make sure that you guys comment down below and let us know what you guys think about Tron. I want to hear positives and negatives that people have, because at the end of the day, the whole purpose of these videos is for educational purposes. It's not like Tron is paying me any money to say good things about them. So when I have these different opinions that you might perceive as positive and negative, now of course it comes from my own analysis, and I'm able to be independent in that regard. Of course, I think transparency is pretty key. But of course, this article right here is pretty interesting too. Just 43% believe the golden cross is a bullish sign. The Bitcoin bullish cross, widely regarded by many as bullish sign for the world's apex cryptocurrency, may not be as convincing as previously thought. Of course, this article definitely does bring an interesting conversation to the forefront, which I think is definitely relevant to today's topic. Of course, we have this article as well. Bitcoin will always end up being centralized around mining pools, says IOTA founder. Of course, another along that same similar way of thinking, because ever since the beginning, Bitcoin and other blockchains have been saying this is decentralization, but then you look under the hood and you see the mechanisms and how the incentivization, all these different things. It's definitely an interesting thing to keep in the back of your brain as well. Especially with cryptocurrency undergoing a lot of these very key, substantial developmental points. That are really going to be playing a big role. In the overall. So IQ option download. Of course, this is just an interesting article to pass by as well here. Of course, we've got blockchain surveillance startups making headlines. Of course, XRP's bearish breakout may lead the way to next bull run. Now, and of course, my opinion on XRP is very much interesting. Segue to my opinion on Tron. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, if I'm able to make money, ride the way, the ups and downs of all these different cryptos, then I'm gonna be happy to be a holder of any of these cryptos. So I mean, there's plenty of haters out there for Tron, and plenty of haters out there for XRP. A lot of Bitcoin fan base, but of course, at the same time, I mean, I'd say I'm equally as much a fan of any crypto that's I'm holding, that's being able to get those gains. Along that same line of thinking, I mean, I see Justin Sun as a pretty key substantial figure, looking forward just to seeing the different things that Justin Sun's going to be bringing up. Of course, it's interesting. I mean, we got the 5-day countdown starts now. TRC 20 based and of course USDT incentive plan is coming, which will be pretty interesting. I think the month of April, with what's left of it, is going to be pretty interesting to see what we have in store. But of course, with May right around the corner, and the next half of 2019 revving up, just getting ready to see how a lot of those different performance capabilities are able to really flesh themselves out. I mean, I do hours of research, just reading white paper and looking into these different things, and I think that when it comes down to it, Tron really is one of the more interesting cryptos, just to see how they've been working with the initiative of decentralizing the internet and a lot of these different things, which are pretty exciting, to a large extent, especially with what they've managed to do with BitTorrent, and of course the ecosystem as it continues to grow right in front of us. I mean, we are definitely in a pretty interesting historical point, in that regard. And now I'm definitely excited to see how Tron, of course, listed on ZBG. This is interesting as well. I think, moving forward, with Tron in mind, in the back of my mind, I'm interested in anything, that has to do with the decentralization of the internet. I think right now, especially with what we've been seeing happening with a lot of these other technologies, a lot of the different aspects of how the mechanisms, a lot of the moving parts of the internet, the Facebook, not excluded from this as well, which is another reason why we've been seeing so many issues with centralized, expressions of the storage of data and all these different things, which definitely is a mechanism that does come into question. Is probably one of the most key talking points when you talk about the future of cryptocurrency, and the various different ones that stand a chance in essentially coming up. But we got a basic attention token, has been in the a lot of people have been talking about that as well, which is interesting. There sort of is a pattern developing there. But yeah, I mean, I am definitely excited to see where Tron is going to be taking the project, and I think that this has been a pretty good video. We've been able to, have a pretty wide perspective, just looking at all the different perspectives, rather than just having one biased. But of course, blockchain payment startup Ripple has reported a 31% quarter-to-quarter increase in sales of Ripple. This is a pretty interesting article as well. Now, of course, just highlighting a lot of those different variables. I mean, if any cryptocurrency is able to sort of break through a lot of those different elements, as far as when you want to talk about the current establishment being able to mesh with the existing infrastructure of cryptocurrency and what's available to come, I think that Ripple definitely does have a sledgehammer that could really break through a lot of those different boundaries. And of course, it is interesting to see how these different things, the more time passes, the more data data will actually be available, which makes a lot of these different things, more accessible and understandable, because, we are so early in the space that, it is definitely interesting to see, how these different things are going to be fleshing out. But, all that being said, I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video. Of course, make sure that you guys, follow us on Twitter. That's at CryptoTuber as well. Always interested in hearing what your opinions are, and of course, make sure that you guys comment down below and let us know what you guys think. All that being said, obviously, remember, this video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. Of course, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not your dad, all that good stuff. But yeah, all that being said, I mean, my opinion overall, when it comes down to Tron, I think it's a pretty interesting project. I'm pretty excited to see what Tron is going to be, doing in the future. I mean, of course, not excluding any of the other cryptos. I mean, I'm equally, excited about stuff like XRP, Litecoin, Bitcoin itself, and all these different things. But all that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Make sure that you guys subscribe, comment down below, and turn on post notifications. And yeah, I think this has been a pretty good video. We've been able to talk about a lot of pretty exciting things that have been happening in the space, and I've been working on this video for a while. But it's pretty interesting. I mean, I do hours of research, in these topics every single day. And the video only comes out to be like 10 minutes long, but I'm just glad that we've been able to build this community. But all that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. We'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.